golfj.com.
Hey everybody, Jim Sinacropi here inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls, New York for a special edition of the golfj.com podcast where we'll be talking to Casey Hoch. He's the National Sales Manager for G4, and got Rhett Taccone with me here. And Rhett, G4,
how are we doing, Jim?
we've been lucky enough to try out some of their products over the past couple of weeks, the shoes and the gloves, and I'm thoroughly impressed. It's a higher end option. With a throwback feel, and I love it. What's your impressions?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of types of shoes out there now, between the athletic style, the slip-on style, and then your traditional. I would say that G4 has taken the traditional style to the next level with a little more boldness in their designs and some of their fashion-forward designing. They have high tops, and they have your regular shoe that you would have, and they also have a cruiser model that's a slip-on. But let's bring Casey in. Casey Hoch, how are you doing today?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. We really appreciate you letting us test drive some of your products. The gloves great, the shoes are great, and we just wanted to get a little more background from you. We talked a little bit about the stuff last night on our weekly podcast, but this will be something we'd like to just feature you guys and talk a little bit more about the products and what else you guys have to offer and what's coming down the line from G4.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so now you started there within the last year or so, is that correct?
Yes, yeah. It's going on 5 or 6 months now.
Okay, you want to tell us just a touch about your background?
Sure. I've been in golf for almost 20 years now. Started with Dunlop Maxfly Sports, specifically in the Maxfly golf division when the Revolution golf ball first launched.
Right.
And had a great introduction to golf as a whole, and had a great run there. They were bought by TaylorMade Adidas Golf, and was lucky enough to work with them for 8 years in the greater Los Angeles market. And a couple guys left there to start Cobra Puma Golf when Puma bought Cobra away from Acushnet. It was one of the first 3 hired for Cobra Puma, and kind of ran Southern California for them and some key accounts and different roles there for the last 7 years. And had known Massimo and Nicole, who is our president at G4, for a long time. When they first started the gloves in 2011, I put some calls in and helped and gave them some contacts, and always admired their products from afar, and had been approached a couple times with them and just wasn't the right place, right time, and finally, last couple months, it seemed to fall into place.
Well, cool. That sounds like a pretty good path, and it sounds like you've landed in a pretty good spot. G4, not brand new to the market, been around for a few years, but relatively new as the golf industry goes. Why don't you take us through a little bit of the evolution of G4 and how they got their start with Massimo and his reputation and his products from previous.
Yeah. So obviously Massimo comes from more from the fashion world, and had some giant brands on that side that he's sold off and done very well with. And I think golf has always been his passion, and an avid golfer, and loves to work on his game and loves to study the history of the game, and even from a design and fashion standpoint as well, obviously. And when he first started playing and really getting into it, it was tough for him to find clothing that he appreciated, that he really felt comfortable in, and wanted to look his best and find something that fit his style, and it just wasn't out there for him. And it started with the golf glove, and looking back at some pictures from the 70s, saw a lot of the big names at the time wearing colored gloves to match their sweaters and their bell bottoms, I guess, at the time, and thought that was just a really cool place to start. And it started with the colored gloves, and basically out of his garage, he and Nicole were making them for him and his friends, and kind of grew around the LA market, and a lot of the country clubs and pros really saw the trend, the retro trend of that coming back. And not just the color, but a great feeling fitting glove is hopefully you guys experienced.
Yes.
But the color was kind of the kicker, and offered 17 different looks and styles and colors with it, and really took off from there. And the same pros and friends that were playing with the glove came back to him and asked him for some shoes and said, hey, take it a step farther. Let's match this up and build on that for us. And he saw an opportunity there with the shoes as well. It was during the time that he was looking at the shoes, I guess it was a really athletic trend in the marketplace. So a lot of shoes that were being built by the big guys that were truly athletic, full performance golf shoes, but
right.
didn't have the traditional look that he was looking for. As you can tell, I think, by the brand, he's got obviously a very high-end fashion sense, but he likes to keep a traditional look with more of a modern flair. It's kind of the way he likes to describe it.
Yes, yeah,
and
right.
So when he started building his shoes, he wanted something really classic and clean and just a beautiful platform and traditional last and high-end leather. And that's kind of was phase 2 of it, and that really took off. And his first round of shoes were gorgeous, but they weren't true golf-specific shoes. The spike system wasn't, I guess, the best, but they looked fantastic. So a lot of good feedback there from buddies and good players and local pros. And so it's evolved into the line that you guys got to try where, we had to make a spiking system that would hold up to the best in the world. And the guy that literally swings out of his shoes, Bubba Watson. So
right.
It's evolved into not only, you guys described it great in your introduction, not only a true, beautiful, athletic golf shoe, but a very high-end, traditional, stylish one as well. And so we've merged that together, and the shoes have really taken off, and we've gotten a ton of exposure with Bubba and the high tops and the stars and stripes last weekend at the Olympics, and hopefully we'll be wearing those in the Ryder Cup as well. But the shoes have been huge for us, and to take it one step farther, from the shoe came the apparel, and that's his true background and his, where he's built his name on, and it's just an obvious evolution to roll into the apparel. And we're showing spring summer 17 now, and it's a full line, men's, ladies, tops, bottoms, outerwear, mid-layer, something for everyone, and it fits the shoes. It's really high-end fashion, traditional looks with a modern flair, performance fabrics that really look stylish, so style that performs. And one of the words or phrases we like to use around the office is disruptive luxury. That's kind of the code we live by there and try to build on, and what the brand really stands for.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the glove, as soon as you slip it on, you can tell it's a higher quality leather that they're using. It's fun to be able to, match the colors to your outfit, which
Sure.
is something you can't get. You just can't get that kind of thing from the, the major glove manufacturers in the industry. And then the shoes are, you should see the compliments I got from the shoes, just because there's not much like them. Even the traditional, the FootJoys and the other footwear companies have gone away from that
Right.
traditional, high quality, luxurious look and more to, I guess, an athletic, style, where these perform great, they feel athletic, but they look great. You could wear them from the course out to, right
Yeah.
out to dinner.
I absolutely have. I wore them to work as well. Worn them on the course, and they fit both ways. The one thing I like about them is that while they're the traditional look, they just take a little splash of color, and it makes all the difference in the world. And it brings attention to them, and it shows the overall quality of the shoe as well. And I wore them to actually to one of our university's commencement at my day job, and got tons of compliments on them, and people were asking me what they were and where did I get them. You tell right away when you see them on someone's feet that they're high quality. Casey, can you speak to the product, the types of leathers you guys use as far as for the shoes and the gloves, and then the quality of the fabrics that you use for the clothing line?
You guys called it out perfectly for us right there. The shoes specifically, Massimo really wanted to do a shoe that performed, not just a shoe that looked great and looked traditional. So he spent a lot of time with a big name manufacturer in the Pacific Northwest, not to name any names, but really wanted to understand how to build a golf shoe that would hold up, perform, not weigh a ton like the traditional golf shoes. So we went to a big name and really got some help and used their consultation to take his look, his style, his fashion, and build an athletic shoe underneath it. So we kind of say that the cover is the beauty,
Right.
and under the hood is the real performance, and it's done in a really nice, clean aesthetic, and he just nailed it. Like you guys said, there's nothing else like it on the market. There's some traditional shoes that may not perform as well or have a heavier weight than we certainly do.
Right.
And then there's obviously a ton of athletic shoes that can perform but don't have the style that we have. So we feel we've blended it perfectly and hit a niche in the market that there's certain guys that just truly get it and understand it and want to be a part of that. And we use the highest quality leathers, and we've waterproofed the leather during the process. So a lot of the companies do it as an after application, and it takes away from some of the performance and the look and the feel of the leather. Ours is built in and hand sewn, stitched on the bottom, and just the little details, like you said, the splash of color on the heel or in the sole. We do some camo stuff hidden, and he always puts an edge, disruptive luxury, to go back to that term, a little bit of an edge in everything we do. So we keep the traditional look and style, and we give it a hit of edge or a hit of color, and just kind of try to top it off with that. And that carries over into the new apparel as well. In the past, the stuff that we had launched and kind of dabbled in was really cotton-based, and now we've tried to bring that same type of performance from the shoe into the apparel line. So we're doing a lot of poly cotton blends and poly bouquets, and we still mercerize a lot of it. So again, from the front and the look and style of it, it's really clean, classic, high-end, beautiful, sophisticated look with performance underneath. So we have the moisture wicking, the sun protection, all the boxes you have to check to be in the golf game now. But
Sure.
we really feel ours is different because we're giving you a style that's just not out there, a really high-end, sophisticated look, but with the performance of those athletic brands.
Now, off the top of the interview, you mentioned the career path that you took to get you here throughout the golf industry with all the brands that we all know so well. And, recently there's been so much disruption and consolidation in the golf industry, most recently with Nike saying they're going to stop manufacturing, golf clubs. And I guess my question to you is, has the state of the golf industry as a whole created an opportunity for you, and has any of the type of disruption we've seen over the past decade convinced the company to go deeper into golf? How have you reacted to that?
Great question. We've obviously been getting this a lot, and we've had a lot of talks and a lot of thoughts, and I know you guys have discussed it a ton, and I think one of the key things for us to look at is, one, Nike being the behemoth that they are, they're not exiting golf as a whole. They're just going back to what they do best. And I think we're going to see more and more of that, and obviously more consolidation with the potential sale of TaylorMade and maybe some other stuff happening. But we see it as a good thing, because we live in a small world, which is golf, and then an even smaller one, which is high-end, niche, fashion golf.
Yeah.
But that's what we do, and we do it very well. We don't see a lot of competition there. There certainly is, and there's certainly some great players in our arena. But we feel if we stick to what we do best and not try to really go outside of our key market and kind of our key products and keep to what we know, there will always be a place for us. I think golf is I think this is ultimately going to be a good thing for the whole industry. I
Sure.
think guys are going to tighten up and go back to what they do best, and it's going to help the market, the consumer, and retailers, and it's going to clean the whole industry up.
So you mentioned like the high-end niche golf market. How have you guys been able to find success in reaching them from a marketing standpoint and brand awareness? I know that the Bubba Watson sponsorship has to be a big deal for you guys, and I'm sure it didn't come cheap. But how are you getting your brand out there in front of the prospective customers for the high-end apparel and shoes?
Great question. That's been the challenge, and still is. Word of mouth is huge for us. I mean, I think once we get the product on anyone, or they see the colored glove and put it on, instantly they know they've got something special. And same with the shoe. We're big in the LA market. That's where we're based, in Beverly Hills. Massimo, lives here. He's on the second hole at Bel Air Country Club, and so the local pros and clubs and a lot of the celebrities are tuned into it pretty highly, and we do a great job of servicing them and getting a lot of free publicity with those types of players. And then obviously Bubba was huge for us. Obviously a polarizing player in some respects, but a great player nonetheless, and an American, and a guy that we really believe in and like, and brings a lot of style to our brand. And we're just, couldn't be happier with him wearing the shoes and the glove and promoting it the way he has. And it's been great. I mean, the feedback and the PR from him is, we can't put a price on. And he came to us, to be honest, and
Wow.
really wanted to wear something different and separate himself from the pack. And so we worked out a great deal. It was a win-win and a long-term deal. And we look forward to many great years with him, and I think as he goes, we will go somewhat, and ideally word of mouth and potential advertising down the road and growing it that way. And we're adding distribution daily. We've got a full sales force now nationwide that we're really targeting the high-end country clubs and resorts, and some golf-specific retailers that make sense, that understand the brand and can present it in the way we want to present it. And our e-com sales have never been higher. So with the exposure from Bubba and the Olympics, and the gloves really getting out there, the people are searching for us. And now it's up to us to kind of put it in the right places and make it easier for them to find.
Now, with Bubba, he is an Oakley guy as well, and he was wearing Oakley shoes. So how did that dynamic work? Did he have a clause in his contract where he could do shoes separately from the apparel and vice versa, things like that?
Yeah, I'm not fully aware of how it all broke out, but I think Oakley was looking to get out of the shoe business on the golf side.
Yeah.
And so there was an opportunity there, and I think he looked around a little bit and was looking for something different, and it just kind of fell into place that way. It wasn't something that we were actively searching.
It's always nice when the
And
player.
I think it just kind of happened, and fortunate enough for both parties that it worked out. And he's a huge sneakerhead, and loves shoes, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when Moss showed him the first couple prototypes of the high top, I mean, he flipped out and knew that he had picked the right brand, and was really excited to be a part of it and kind of help design and at least take a look at what was coming. And
Right.
so we've got a lot of special stuff going for him with some high tops and different colorways and different styling, and so he's excited. He loves getting the boxes. He always sends us an Instagram or a little video, opening the box and giving us his take on the shoes. And it's been a lot of fun, pretty creative, and
It had to be
neat to see a guy at his level be so excited about the products that he's putting on from us.
How was it for you guys at the company to see your product at the Olympics on the biggest international stage? That had to be a bit of a rush.
Yeah, it was. And I if you've seen our Instagram post, Michael Phelps had the hat on and wore our socks, and I mean, just crazy stuff that we really had no idea. We had sent some care packages off to some athletes, with our Stars and Stripes collection. And, Moss is never one to ask favors. He's very humble and understands the celebrity side of the business and isn't a guy that's going to be asking for favors. So to see that kind of exposure. And then Bubba, we send him shoes and we don't script him. We don't ask him to do anything he doesn't want him to do. We just want him to be comfortable and play his best golf. And for him to put the high tops into play, instantly, it speaks volumes about the product and
no question.
the performance of the product, I should say, and the style. Because for those guys, it's got to look and feel right. I mean, that's their living. And for him to put them on and play them all 4 days was fantastic. It was neat. The amount of exposure you can't put a price on, and just the good feelings that, I'm sure Moss gets from being the creative and the designer and the founder and his baby.
No doubt.
It's got to be awesome because we feel it as a company, and it's a great thing to be a part of, and hopefully we can capitalize on it.
Well, to have a guy like that who's as dynamic as he is, and he's quite a personality, but he loves social media, so he's getting you guys out there quite a bit. I see him putting pictures up there all the time, and I first noticed it at the Masters when he, I think, kind of was introduced with you guys on that side. But to have by far the most specific shoes tailor-made to the event at the Olympics for the USA was awesome. That was a great-looking pair of shoes, and to have the fashion forwardness of the high tops, and who knows, I can't wait to see what's coming down the road from you guys. I'm sure it's going to be nothing more than great quality that you already have. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to offer out there in the future, and we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today here.
Yeah, Casey, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you giving us a chance and trying the product and speaking to it directly.
Absolutely.
Personal feedback. That's what we thrive on, and getting it out word of mouth. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Okay, Casey, we'll talk to you down the road. That's Casey Hoch, sales manager for G4. And if you're looking for them online, it's GFORE.com, not the number 4, but the golf 4, like look out for the golf ball, GFORE.com, and you'll have a good time looking through some of the products on their website because there's nothing like it. So thanks for spending some time with us, and we'll be back next Monday night at 9 o'clock with another regular edition of the GolfJ.com podcast.
GolfJ.com